Now I have joining me a researcher and educationist, Peter Agudoro, for more discussion on the proposed 12-year basic education model. Good to have you join us.
It's my pleasure to join.
So for years, there have been clamor for federal government for education reforms in the country and some policy change as well. What do you make of this one, the 12-year compulsory education policy?
Well, if the intention of government is to ensure that every Nigerian child stays in the school system for a minimum of 12 years, so that they can acquire the minimum competencies they need to function in a modern society, then the idea is correct. But I must put it on record that Nigeria's problem as far as education is concerned is not the nomenclature we give to the kind of education system we are practicing, whether it's 6334 or 654, which we used to have before 6334, or the 12.4 that they are thinking about now. The major challenge we have had is the fact that we haven't placed teachers front and center with respect to education in our country. The people running our classrooms haven't got the right skills. They don't know how to teach because nobody is training them adequately. Education is not adequately funded. And we know that the governance within the system is also very poor. And I'm aware that if the government starts thinking about 12 years of compulsory education, I would be happy if if they're able to make that happen. But I doubt government's capability to make it happen because they are currently struggling with paying teacher salaries and with making other elements of the education system, deliver what they're supposed to deliver. How do they now want to take on additional responsibility of keeping children in the school system, whether they like it or not, for a minimum of 12 years? That takes a lot of money to fund, and the government keeps telling us they haven't got money to even make the small things we have in the system, to happen.
Mr. Agudoro, in itself, that seems like a good idea. I know you're talking about funding to ensure that people have, compulsory education for 12 years. But the sticking point for this policy, which the government has now clarified, was that, JSS and JSS3 and SS3 has been scrapped. The ministry has clarified that, but they say that, look, this will allow for a seamless transition of students without the hurdles of external exams. And that's, from that JSS3 to SS1. And I just wanted to get your thought on that, if students should not be assessed, moving from junior secondary school to senior secondary school.
Whether you have a public examination or not, children are always assessed in the education system. So that certainly is not Nigeria's problem. And if you do my kind of work and you operate within the education system, you know that virtually every child who goes through basic education and whose parents are interested in him continuing to the next level of senior education is able to transit, because most of the time, before they even release the result, which is associated with what they call junior WAEC, students have done up to a minimum of a whole term in senior secondary school. So that is not Nigeria's problem. I do not know who are talking to the minister because even the climb where he is coming from, where he practiced medicine for several years in America, he knows that is not what has been America's burden. In America, they have elementary school, they have middle school, they have high school. In Britain, they have primary school, they have high school, they have sixth form. In Finland, which runs the best education system in the world, they have elementary school, they have lower secondary school, they have upper secondary school before you go to the university. So these issues of 6324, 654, and all these are certainly not the issues that Nigeria should be grappling with now. Let's make appropriate funding available, and if we want our children to stay in the school system for a minimum of 12 years, let's be sure that we probably will have to modify our constitution to make it a burden on government so that we're able to provide adequate funding for this. Because if you just say compulsory education, who is going to fund it? Who picks up the bills? Nobody is telling us anything about that. So this is certainly not well tuned. I think the government is especially the Ministry of Education, seem to be acting in a haste. They should be very careful. The immediate past Minister of Education lost his job because he also came up with a policy like this one, which was not properly tuned.
Well, I don't know if they're working in haste. They have said they're going to, there's going to be a lot of consultation with education policymakers, parents, and teachers as well. We'll see how everyone responds to this. Thank you so much for your time, as always. I'm researcher and educationist, Peter Agudoro.
Thank you very much.